So at last, Maitreya does have a heart. Take your seats. Class begins. Without breaking the cosmic seal that ensured the ancient Himalayan mystery school would close in 1928, without breaking that seal, and without precipitating all your bums into class in the ancient mystery school, which I don't feel I would get any approval from Mother Akasha. This is the closest we get to creating a representation, a replica, perhaps, of class in the ancient mystery schools. The arrivals, the initiates, those who sought something greater than themselves, a willingness, a soul's journey, and of those who made the great trek through India, Tibet, Nepal, and if they were fortunate to find a mystical being upon their path that would say to them, "You have made it thus far, follow me." Thus they were the early ones who in centuries past made it into the greatest of all mystery schools, the Himalayan. Many of those over centuries past and thousands of years back in time became prophets, some returning back to the outer world after their education and training. Some went on to embrace the path of resurrection, and without any fanfare or anyone to watch, raised the individualized God presence within themselves, remained as resurrected masters within the Himalayas, and then taken to their freedom in what is called the Ascension. Today, to ensure the heralding in and the success, the victory of three mighty dispensations, deemed not only to save the earth, to raise the earth, and to finally bring about the harvest of this mighty I Am race, to fulfill their purpose. All who arrived in the ancient mystery schools, and the same as each of you who are here today, and more others too who are not here. No one is drawn to any spiritual path unless there are already covenants that have been agreed upon. Covenant, a promise that cannot be broken. It can be delayed, it can be set aside for another time, but life does compel a covenant that you have made, or a covenant that God has made with you and you have agreed to it, or covenants that you have made with your spiritual hierarchy, or that your spiritual hierarchy have made with you, must be fulfilled. as a spark of awakening begins with an individual. A tiny light within the heart is saved. One moves. The mighty I, the individualization of God, will move that one through a series of embodiments that will create a sympathetic chord to the light and a willingness to create a deviation away from what has been the animal consciousness that has ruled the people of earth, almost destroyed the people of earth, and begin to transform or bring about a transformation from that animal consciousness into the next state, the mental consciousness. And then, as the mass of the people by majority enter into the mental consciousness, one's own inner light is exposed, not to themselves. One's own inner light is exposed to the angels, to the God presence that giveth them life, to the ascended host, the spiritual hierarchy. And as they see that glimmer of light, there is a recognition that amongst the mass of the people who are shifting into the mental consciousness from the lower human nature that we call the human consciousness are those who are ready for the greatest transformation, and that is to enter into a spiritual consciousness. This requires a covenant that within that covenant it is easy for one such as myself to see that there have been those courses through the trials and tribulations of life in which must ultimately cultivate within those ones an act of compassion upon oneself that leads one to an act of certainty. And it is out of that act of certainty comes a new breath and an invisible flame of hopelessness, of hopefulness, let's say that right, hopefulness and redemption. As this is occurring in the lives of a few, those few are watched. They are aided. They are assisted and are receiving divine intervention long before they even consider it. And that intervention most often comes in the form of a teacher. How appropriate to give a loving tribute to George Michael, who has left your world recently and who has been raised to the great light realm of Shambhala. This song from his soul speaks of a teacher and of an uptown boy who's had too many teachers, too many promises of love, of all sorts of fulfillment. I have some pride, no more. And then he finishes his song with, well, maybe one more try. Because we come to a place in life where everything that is happening has nothing to do with anyone else but ourself. And we must point the finger back at ourself. We must be willing to self-correct. We must be willing, as I introduce to you tonight, an expanded concept in reckoning with the old world, in reckoning with the tree of knowledge of good and evil, in reckoning with all that poisons a person's body with disease, in reckoning the appearances of limitation that occur. You have within each of you those periodic times that have sought to harvest you out of confusion and into enough certainty. Harvest enough of your inner light through your heart and feeling that you will be drawn to that which will help you transform from a mental consciousness into a spiritual consciousness. And in this process, in that journey, if you've got that far, and clearly you have, life will bring you many teachers. And the teacher may be an individual, may be an experience. The teacher may be something that happens in your work life. The teacher may be a lover. The teacher might even be a twin flame. Teachers who agree to show up. And you may not even have the wisdom, you may not even have the foresight, you may not even have the illumination to why those teachers are there, yet eventually the wisdom does grow, and eventually you begin to see the linkage. The linkage between the experiences you are having and how your own life is demanding you keep growing, keep evolving. You may have hundreds of lives behind you, yet you have arrived in this now moment that is the most important life. When you arrive in this place, in the place that you are asked, yet there is something else that beckons your attention. And that is a shift that I ask each of you to initiate into. Mother Akasha has intimated this. She has spoken of this path. This is not a path for fools. This is a serious path. The path of resurrection, of all spiritual paths. Yet I will add now, inviting each of you, because I see the shifting, yet we advance much more quickly when what we are shifting into is something that is we are conscious of. We are aware of it. We are saying yes to it. And what I wish to suggest, just for starters, is a recognition on your part that you are not even any longer on a spiritual path. That the spiritual path got you to the place that you are at now. That you see your whole life as a spiritual world. That you see your whole life as one of spirituality. And that you are willing to be raised to a new place that I will activate today. And that is that you, like Yeshu ben Joseph, you will face the seeming challenges in your life by seeing them for what they are and by naming the source of those challenges and appearances. It is time. It's there. What amazes me, it's even there in the New Testament, but you don't see it. The director Logos has come to your conclaves and declared the age of man is coming to an end, the age of Christ. Now, what waits for each of you to greet? What is the promise that Mother Akasha leads you, guides you into the practitioner's treatment? Do you hunger for that sacred space that you might reach into at such depth? As she puts it, to make a personal and direct contact with God. Well, I say to you, precious hearts, the contact that you make requires a great understanding that what you are going to contact with is one with the infinite Father. And what you are seeking to make contact with is the Son of God. And you will take control of the limitations in your life. You will take control of the appearances in your life. It's time to call a spade a spade. It is time, when the appearances of this world try to touch you, to call it out for what it is. You are nothing but the Son of Man. You are the Son of Man appearing as this unemployment. You are the Son of Man appearing as what tries to ail my body. I know. I've been there. I've lived it. And the whole purpose of my life is to let the Son of God come forth through this life I have been given. So I am asking you tonight, because my first covenant with you is to activate a sacred geometry that knows the secret passageway in your practitioner treatment to greet your true self, the I of your being that has had all these lifetimes. You haven't lived 700 lifetimes. You, Lisa, haven't lived 700 lifetimes. The I, the source of your being, has opened the way and has maybe 700 times it has tried, and each time you were a different person. You had a different personality. You may have been in a different body type. Every one was a trial and effort for the individualization of God to come into expression. So let us celebrate that you have arrived thus far, and all attempts in the past have failed. And that is why you are here. To bring an end to failure. To bring an end to failure. Expedition is a wonderful thing. And we can expedite the course and path of our consciousness. Yet there is a time that our own life, what is the teacher saying? Whether the teacher is Lord Maitreya, whether the teacher is an appearance that is showing up in your life, what's the teacher saying? Because you see, the teacher's trying to tell you this appearance is the Son of Man. The Son of Man. This is the offspring of the human. Do you get it? Yes. And it's time to put that behind. I am here to bring forth the Son of God. And don't you for a moment, Don't you dare, because if you try to put your humanhood, if you try to put your humanness on that inner eye that seeks to break free soon, if you try to anoint that inner eye with your humanity, that inner eye will go back inside and stay beyond the self-imposed wall around your mind. That is why you are about to pass through a place that Jesus himself said is straight and it is narrow. You must see clearly. Your eyes must be open even when your eyelids are closed. You must be open. You must see things for they are. Because now, what is the teacher in your life showing up? How is the teacher showing up in your life? What appearances? What things try to detract you? It's the Son of Man. It's the offspring of a human appearance. And you have arrived in that place in undoing the spell and the momentum of thousands of years of the Son of Man governing your life. You are here to upset everything that has been the way of life of the people. Yes, that is a wonderful thing. Yet this new stage, this next new phase in your life, it requires grace. It requires humility. It requires humbleness. And underneath all of that, it requires an act of kindness and compassion upon yourself, that you decree that your own life is a pillar of harmlessness. That you will speak no words. That you will send no email to anyone that has harmful rhetoric. That you will be mindful that your words are filled with love, spoken from the heart, and a mind that is discerning, not open to the Son of Man. I tell you, precious hearts, if you will let me raise you this weekend, so from this weekend you will clearly see, this little appearance here, this is the Son of Man. I am about to raise everything. I am about to have life-changing glimpses of the Son of God coming forth in my practitioner's treatment. So when I'm not in the practitioner's treatment, my spiritual life is not just a path. My spirituality must come into my work. Oh, that doesn't mean I'm going to stand on a soapbox and try to illumine people who aren't ready. I honor everyone where they are, right? But it's never about the other person. It's about your conduct. Your conduct. About how you show up. You are not here to teach the world yet. But you are here to let the demonstrations of the Son of God begin in your life. And begin to curtail and lessen and minimize the appearances of the Son of Man. Man, human consciousness. Nice three-letter word. What does it mean? Human consciousness. And that is not your angelic consciousness. So what is our time like? I'm up at 7:30. Is it 7:30? 7:35. Is that what you said? 7:33. Well, it seems that no one was here to discipline Lord Maitreya and say, you're on overtime. Let's get with the program. If I can come here and discipline you, you better realize that you can discipline me. Hey, boss, you're 3 minutes over. Get off stage. Come on, just try it. Just try it. God bless you. God bless you. We got a great weekend ahead. And this weekend, we got to let it build. We got to let it build. We're going to have some nice waves, and then we'll relax. And then we're going to have some more nice waves, but they're going to be a little bigger. So we got to let it build all weekend. You with us? Yes. Godspeed. You're going to have fun with this. I promise you. Take it up. Be creative. This is the Son of Man acting up in me right now. So how does that feel? Well, that's a new take on having a human moment. Wow, this is the Son of Man. Oh, I guess I just wanted to feel one more time how you felt, because your days are numbered. And for all you beautiful, beautiful goddesses, don't take issue with the word Son of God, and don't replace it with Daughter of God, because the Son of God is the Christ, and the Christ is neither male or female. Because it's the same thing. Just say it two different ways. I am here to welcome the light of the world. That was Jesus Christ. But now it's your turn. So you could say it, I am here to bring forth the Son of God. Or you can say it, I am here to bring forth the light of the world. Do you understand? Yes. So in your mind, you could spell it maybe S-U-N. If you think you're going to get in your own way with this. You know, you got to come to a point. The world still has to grow up with its feminine, masculine thing. But you're not the world. You're the harvest. So you're not there anymore. It doesn't matter. Love them all. Because your truth is, your true self is the Son of God. And if it chooses to occupy a feminine garment, it's got a reason. If it chooses to occupy a masculine garment, it's got a reason. And guess what? It has nothing to do with whatever your human personality thinks. So have fun with this. No. You can have a day, well, seems like the Son of Man wrecked some havoc around here. I better sit down before I go out into the world. I better sit down in my practitioner's treatment right now, and I better go in and make contact with the Son of God and create a space for the Son of God to come forth. Clean up this mess. God bless you.